What's next for Jorginho and Ngolo Kante? What's up, everyone? Welcome to a brand new segment on Box to Box. This will be more quick-fire questions with the same crew that you'll see every week on our podcast. Today we're starting off asking what Jorginho and N'Golo Kante should do, if they should stay at Chelsea or if they should leave this summer. Two obviously rock-solid midfielders that have been with Chelsea for the past couple of years, but they're getting a little older, and some of their form is faltering here and there. So, Tom, we'll start with you being the other Chelsea fan. What do you think about Jorginho?
You're asking for my expert voice here?
I am asking for your expert opinion.
I'll get into it. So both of the players have 2 years left on their contract. Kante gets paid a lot more, actually. He gets paid $250K a week, while Jorginho is getting paid around $110, $120K a week. And I think the thing to think about when we're talking about these players is the fact that Chelsea do have Conor Gallagher coming back from loan, and they have, honestly, that's really it in terms of depth.
Billy Gilmore.
They have Billy Gilmore, yes, thank you. But Ruben Loftus-Cheek has proven that he's not Chelsea caliber for that midfield. And if these players do leave, then we are going to have to bring in new players. I think the one player that could leave, I don't think Jorginho would leave. I think it would be Kante, due to kind of our potential financial troubles going into the next year. I detailed a little bit in an article recently that Chelsea are going to need to offload a few players and get some positive gain in their transfer value in the transfer business for the next year in order to comply with financial fair play. Kante is a player that still has value, is on high wages, and though he has been faltering in form, a quick side note is he is fasting for Ramadan, so that is a potential reason why he's faltering. But even before April, he has been showing signs of slowing down. I think Jorginho is still a player that is underrated, even after all the craziness with the Player of the Year award, and is still can fit in the side and is still a relatively cheap option at $110K a week, and we don't have to pay for him.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna I have a different opinion than you. I think Kante will stay over the summer, and I think Jorginho will leave. And I think that is not because one is better than the other, but I do think that Tuchel recently has been leaning more towards these ball-progressing midfielders, such as Loftus-Cheek and Mateo Kovacic, which Kante can fulfill. Kante is a player who is good defensively, as well as bringing the ball forward. Jorginho, not so much. Jorginho is obviously that metronomic player that sits at the solid six position in the midfield and doesn't really progress the ball through his dribbling. So I do think that Jorginho will leave over the summer, and I do think he'll likely go to Juventus. I know he has long since talked about a return to Serie A, and Juventus are a team in desperate need of a midfield revamp. And Jorginho is a player that can go into that Juventus side and settle it down, basically. Obviously, they have Rabiot, McKennie, and Archer, none of whom are consistent in reality. I do think Jorginho can be that new kind of rock for them to build around. And I do think that Tuchel's opinions of him, or the way Tuchel likes to use his midfield, is the differing factor.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing is, these are two players that Jorginho, people were saying he could have won the Ballon d'Or, and Kante, if not the best CDM in the world. So it's crazy that we're even talking about this. But I agree. I think I really could see both of these players leave this summer. I actually love the idea of Jorginho going to Juventus, Harry. They're, like you said, they're in desperate need of a midfielder there. And I would love the idea of maybe seeing Kante go to PSG and possibly pair up with Paul Pogba and replicate that French midfield.
That would be
PSG.
nasty.
That would be ridiculous. Pogba's been talking about how he wants to leave, and what better pairing to have than Pogba and Kante at PSG? You know that they can afford it. Both players are on the outs, but going back to Jorginho, we've seen Tuchel just flip out at Jorginho in past games just because Tuchel likes to play fast. He likes to, get that ball out, and Jorginho just likes to slow down the pace and play slow. And it's not like one way is better than the other, but it's just a different tactical style. And right now, with Tuchel as the coach, it's just not working.